What's up, fuckers? We're talking about the Fast and Furious today. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Spectacle Squad. As you can obviously tell, we're going to be talking about the Fast and Furious this week.
How can they obviously tell?
You gave them no hints whatsoever in your intro.
Alright, introductions. I am Tyler. To my left is...
I'm Jordan, and to my left...
It's Ben.
You're still left.
I'm sorry. It's just so... Man, that's just not what I expected for the intro, man. That was just so,
abrasive.
I told you, fast and punchy. That's the way we do it.
I guess, man.
Alright. Anyways, we decided to do the Fast and Furious this week after talking about the Terminator last week. Ben had never seen it. Jordan and I both love the Fast and Furious movies, partially for how shit and ridiculous they are, and it's kind of endearing.
Yeah, I would say so.
But yeah. So the movie was released in 2001.
Wow, that soon ago?
That was 2001?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What'd you think it was?
I don't know, 1996. I don't know. Oh, man.
Yeah, it was definitely a dated piece of film.
Yeah, that's for sure. We kind of came across a couple terms that would not fly today.
And here they are now.
No, we're not going to say them. But, I mean, even though the film is kind of dated, the terms they used are kind of dated, and some of the talk and dialogue that they have is just kind of weird. I still really enjoy the movies. Like, every time there's a new Fast and Furious movie, I try to go out and see it, and I don't know. I fucking love it.
So, you said... Last week you said that you did see the trailer for 9, Ben?
Yeah.
So
here's the thing. Anything I know about all of these franchises, I just know about the trailers.
from the trailers. So after watching the first movie now and seeing the trailer for the new one coming up, what are your thoughts on how it gets from point A to point B?
See, you say point A to point B. I would say point A to point W. I feel like there's a lot of points in between to go from stealing from three cars, like 3 or 4 major car scenes probably in this movie. Not counting all the little bits in here, but the 3 major sequences. The biggest one of which being a freaking DVD player heist to a rocket. I don't know how they're gonna get to that. I'm really excited to find out though.
Yeah.
Because that's just that there's no connect in my head. Like I'm not watching this movie and thinking, oh boy, the rest of them are gonna make it just doesn't add up to me. But,
well, it doesn't add up to anybody because it's. Honestly,
so at what point does it start getting freaking out there?
I would probably say 4 or 5. 4 is less ridiculous, but
yeah,
it
4,
gets worse.
It continues the outlaw, kind of shtick that they have in this one. 5 gets more
shitty James
international,
Bond.
and then from there it jumps up from international crime, and then it starts becoming more of a spy movie, and then from there, then it progresses into just all out.
I don't know how the fuck any of these people pass as spies, but whatever. I'm along for the ride now. I guess I'll have to see where it goes, but.
You got me, man. It doesn't make any sense. Just at one point there, I as soon as the movie started, I asked, how does this relate to you all? Because it's showing a truck full of combination VHS TVs. And I was just like, you guys don't even know much about VHS, right?
No, I had VHS
Okay.
as a kid.
My childhood, we had VHS and stuff like that.
That's all I had for a while.
I can remember going to Blockbuster and getting VHS videos.
Okay, well, I didn't know that. That's
we're still on the tail end of that. We barely caught that.
Oh, okay.
So.
We rode the little bit of that last wave.
Yeah.
I can tell you the last movie we bought on VHS.
What was it?
It was Treasure Planet.
Hell
okay.
Yeah. That
was the very last thing we bought on VHS. So.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I hope they make a live action of that movie. That movie deserves a live action.
I agree. They changed artists for that movie halfway through it. Did you know that?
Who?
They changed art styles for that movie. They had different art directors.
You can't tell them
Yeah.
much.
If you watch the movie and watch like the first half and then like the third quarter of it and then the fourth quarter, you can tell there's distinctly different art styles. Like they're very similar. What?
You said fourth quarter, and that made me think overtime.
Oh yeah.
This is a sports podcast, man. Keep up.
Yeah.
Fourth quarter technically isn't overtime. That's fourth quarter.
No,
I'm
he
saying,
said
like,
fourth.
after.
You said fourth quarter, and then he said overtime.
Oh, okay. Anyways. But yeah, this movie holds a special place in my heart.
Does it?
Yes, partially for how kind of like, just it's a popcorn movie. Like I don't have to think about it, and I don't have to like really read into the plot and all of that stuff. But I can still just sit back on the couch and enjoy it. Plus, I mean, like I've always been kind of interested in cars and seeing all of the stuff that they talk about, and like as I've kind of grown up a little bit and I've gotten a little bit more into cars, it's awesome how accurate they are with like saying various names of parts and brands and all that stuff, and it's really cool to me.
Yeah, it's all been Greek to me. I don't understand any of it. I just
Yeah.
honestly, I probably just enjoyed the movie because of Jordana Brewster. So
Fair enough. I think it was Vin Diesel's first big role, wasn't it?
no, he'd been in stuff before.
Okay.
His first major role was in
The babysitter.
no.
You mean the pacifier?
The pacifier.
I was just about to bring that up.
His first major role was in Saving Private Ryan.
Oh,
you're right.
yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
But he had one other role before that was in an indie movie, but I don't remember what it's called. He has hair in it. It's weird.
He's definitely it's definitely weird to see baby Vin Diesel in this movie.
Yeah, I mean,
especially seeing him now.
it's like this and Pitch Black and what else came out around this time? Oh, not too long after this was Triple X.
Oh yeah.
And so
I
like
forget about that movie.
that's all like super young Vin Diesel, and
Yeah.
then he starts aging. But he still looks pretty good for
Yeah, he
however
looks,
old he
yeah,
is.
he looks fine. But you can just tell him like I think it's like definitely like more level like under the cheekbone. Like that's where I see it the most.
The
Just
neck,
looks- yeah.
the throat,
Is he
Yeah.
wide neck?
the chin.
It's not even that. It's just that's just the thing that I notice with like younger actors is that it's way more defined and it's like more of a gap.
That's because you get old and your skin starts sagging.
Yeah. No matter how much you work out,
It's just gravity.
time will catch up to you, Vin Diesel.
Your skin gets all elasticy.
Yes.
It'll happen
So-
to you guys.
I know.
Eventually, your
It's
hips
scary.
will start hurting, and
My hips are already hurt.
you'll wake up one morning and your back will hurt, and then
My back already hurts when I wake up.
it'll never.
And you're done for, Tyler.
No,
I'm
I
already
mean,
going.
like it's like pain, but it's like it gets to a point where it's just like it feels like
it.
your bones are actually just rubbing against each other, and then you're just like, I'm gonna go solve this problem, and then you never do, and you just constantly feel it until
You just live with it.
Yeah. You ever think about that? Like, if you switched, like, they never talk about this in movies, but, like, you know, switching bodies with somebody else, like, you're not used to the just normal pain for them, like, in their body in, like, different places. So, like, if you switched with somebody else, you'd just be like, oh, Jesus Christ! Why are my fucking ankles hurt? And it's just like, I don't know, man. Like, that's just been going on for 15 years, and I just don't, that's just how my life is. It's just like, oh, Jesus!
Yeah.
Oh, my God! You do this every day. Like,
Yeah.
they need to do that in one of those movies.
Well,
where
you know
it's
what
just-
else? The other thing too is like, kind of adding on to that. You know how like when someone like gets like a growth spurt or whatever, and they just like they're too awkward to handle their own body, meaning like they don't understand the dimensions of
You just
themselves.
can't stop jerking off just everywhere.
That's not where I was gonna go with that. I was talking about
Oh.
how like when you like grow like a lot, and then you start bumping into shit, or like your arms get really long, and like you gotta get used to that because you gotta teach yourself that. Like imagine hopping into
Like
somebody
Mr.
else's body.
Fantastic.
Yeah, like body
Mr.
hopping would be like
Fantastic
Mr.
is
Fantastic because like
Constantly
I have pretty
going through
decently long
growth
arms.
spurts.
If I hopped into Tyler's body, his arms are shorter than mine, so I'd have to get used to like reaching out.
Is that a short joke, Ben?
No, it's not a short joke. Unless you're
It's a fat
sensitive.
joke.
Unless you're sensitive
kidding.
about your arms.
I'm so
But-
sorry.
That's what I'm saying.
Not really. Yeah. Anyways, one of the things that I've noticed about this movie, and I know a lot of YouTubers have made points about this, namely the channel Donut Media. They did a channel kind of covering how the Fast and Furious inspired a lot of American JDM culture. And JDM stands for Japanese Domestic Market, which refers to Japan's home market for vehicles. So what that means, it's a lot of vehicles that get sold in the U.S. but have a different spec than they would in Japan or something like that. So like this year is actually the first year that we can import what is it called? Fuck. Nissan Skylines legally, like full spec from the 90s, which is crazy because, I mean, they're 30-year-old cars or less, and we're just now being able to import them legally, full spec, not having to change anything or anything like that, which is crazy to me.
So why are they not legal over here until now?
Just because the U.S. put a lot of trade restrictions on automotive industries because in the 70s and 90s when we had oil crises and stuff like that, Japanese and Chinese motors were making vehicles that were a lot more economic, and it was kind of hurting American motor industries. So Japanese and Chinese cars were selling a lot more because they're more fuel efficient, and you got more bang for your buck than you would with an American car, which is kind of a gas guzzler. So, but yeah, it was also like a sports restriction too. Anyways, but yeah, this movie just really impacted American GDM culture with like the but like the popularization of like the Nissan Skyline, the Toyota Supra, just to name a few, and it's really cool to me.
So car weebs.
Yes.
Car weebs.
Yes.
Okay.
Man.
I don't understand any of that.
All right.
I don't drive cars for fun. I don't like driving. All this driving made me anxious because I was like, God, I hate driving.
Dude, I was thinking the same thing.
And it's like everybody in this is just like so excited to always be behind the wheel of a car. Either it's a trucker who their whole job is to drive 18 hours a day, and I'm just like, I don't want to do. I don't like driving the 40 minutes I have to drive here to campus. So that sucks.
See, for me watching it, like I'm like, oh, that's really, really cool. That's like pretty badass that they can do that. I would never do that, and I would never put myself in that chance to do that. Like, no, but I can appreciate the people who love it. Like, it's such. I really like looking at things that other people are into and watching them get passionate about it
And make fun of them.
Well,
sometimes.
I think there's a difference between like talking shit and just like complete like just making fun of them. Like, I think there's a difference, and so like you can kind of make fun of the cliches about it all. And the other thing I was gonna say too, and I think I brought this up last week, is that for me watching these older movies now is like I like have seen the satire versions of what these movies came up in. And like the other thing too is like the things that get copied from these movies, and like this is the one where it originates from. So for me watching it was like, oh, that's kind of cheesy. Wait a minute, these are probably the first people to do that. Like a bunch of the car stunts. And then like the other thing too is like that first race, the first like street race that they did against Dom and is his name Brian?
Yeah.
That's such a stupid name.
Wow.
Wow, you're just
I'm just
like
saying,
ripping in on Paul Walker. Gee.
I'm just saying, Brian is such a stupid name for a main character, is it not?
Why?
I don't know. It just Dom and Brian. Like I don't know.
Would you have preferred his name be Ben?
No. God, no, that would have been worse.
Dom and Ben.
That would have been worse. But no, it's just like that first race was so like stylized and stuff like that. The way like and the other movie, the rest of the movie wasn't shot like that. It was like that first nighttime race where they do like the windows going faster and then like the super fast cuts around the cars and stuff like that. I was like,
that was like the only one that was an actual race too. I mean, there's one other like out of this whole racing movie, there's only 2 races.
Yeah.
Which I forgot about. Like I was like, oh yeah, I can't wait for Brian to go to. By the way, Race Wars, like, I know that's actually a real thing, but, like, that's a awful name.
Yeah. I was thinking of something like this high-speed, like, 50 cars on a track, and they're bumping. Yeah, no. Which like...
I was thinking Race Wars.
Yeah.
Jeez, Ben.
Like, why'd you say, geez, me?
Just, I don't know, your reaction to that. Anyways, God.
It's just a terrible,
Yeah,
it's like Race Riots.
It's an unfortunate name.
Race Wars.
But Race Wars is a real thing. So whoever made that up a long time ago is just dumb.
Maybe they stole the idea from that.
Like, car battle. That's what it should have been.
We're gonna give this name a positive vibe now.
Yeah,
taking it, and
the first one was
Sorry,
actually
no.
in Tulsa. No? Okay.
I think we should. All right, what are some alternatives for Race Wars, the car event?
Cars 3.
Tow Mater.
Mater. That's what. Yeah, why didn't they have Mater in there? He would have helped out.
gosh.
I don't know. They could have had any other name. Just
Yeah, they really could.
Desert Race. Jesus, like that's all it needed to be.
It was, I don't know, yeah, race wars. And but like the other thing too is like, it's not a war because from what the movie showed you, it's just all the cars get into a line and then you just go after one another. They do them 2 at a time.
Yeah.
And then like I'm just like the name doesn't match. Like
Yeah, and then who sets up the races? Like, are there like actually like scheduled programmed races? Like
or
this
you
person,
just get,
this
or
person.
you just get in line.
Yeah, and is it just like whoever you're next to, and then other people are making other bets, and it's like, so is there like a pot, or is it just between the 2 people?
Yeah.
Are there like what is the actual system? It's just like this whole thing that's being talked about for like an hour and a half has very limited rules.
So that's the other thing. They
for us
put
to understand.
such a big deal
On
the
Race Wars, and they spend very little time there.
Well, that, and then like the scene right before where Brian was like, "Dang it, Dom, I want to be a part of this." He was like, "Do good in Race Wars, and then we'll see." We never saw that.
Yeah, we never saw Brian race. We didn't even see him line up.
No, he just showed up and he was there. And
He was
then,
like, "Oh, hey Jesse, are you sure you want to race for pink slips, man?"
"Yeah, like so, like he never proved himself."
No, he didn't.
So I'm just. Which the other thing that begs the question is like after that happened to Jesse, why did Dom immediately go do the heist right after that? If he was so freaking out about Jesse, I feel like the priority at that point would have been go find Jesse.
I think it was to get money.
Yes.
Because he was going to try to.
I guess that's true.
If he couldn't deliver the car to Johnny Tran, then he was going to have to pay him for the amount.
I guess that's true.
And so, the only way to pay for a car is a truck full of VHS players.
That's fine. That's
Which
fair.
goes for about $20 nowadays.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, they said it was like this is a 1-2 million stash easy. I'm like that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Just wait.
Look
a
how
couple years,
that
Bucko.
lasted.
Yeah.
I mean, look at DVD players nowadays. I
Well-
mean, like, they're not even really a standard anymore. It's more Blu-ray players, if anything.
No wonder they've gone to being a spy movie, because it's like, what are they going to steal anymore? Everything's digital now.
Well,
It's
yeah,
like-
and that and like heist like movies. I've never like
Stealing
watched a
your code.
heist movies that's been other than like Gold or Cash or like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like this is such a weird like version of a heist movie.
But I mean, like, it fits with the times really well, though, because, I mean, in the 90s and early 2000s, VHS were popping off. And I think,
I mean,
I
it's
feel
definitely
like
a
one of them
product
I
of its
remember
time.
being like a VHS and DVD player combo or something like that. Not that really matters. But,
Yeah.
I don't know. The whole movie fits with the times really well, and I remember watching some YouTube video. I don't remember what it was, but it was basically dissecting the trailer for the whole movie, and the trailer for the movie just spoils the entire plot line of the movie within the first minute of it.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a real difficult plot.
I know.
Yeah.
I just thought it was amusing.
Like it's like a 3-sentence plot to.
Yeah, and so
Brian is police.
So that is my only complaint about this movie is freaking Brian. Like,
Wow.
No,
dogging on.
just
Keep
listen.
dogging on the dead guy. Jesus
Listen.
Christ.
listen,
Or
okay.
Paul Walker.
I have nothing against Paul Walker. Paul Walker's
He
fine.
just sucks at acting. Well, sucked.
No.
Jesus.
No, his acting's not. It's just Brian as a character is stupid to me because they say that he's a cop, but from every action he makes and every decision he makes in this movie makes it seem like he didn't want to be a cop, And
Well,
they're
they
all,
talk about his past a little bit at the
Yeah.
beginning. He went to juvie a couple of times for boosting cars.
Yeah.
And it's like I think the whole thing with him, he wanted to be undercover because he's drawn to that outlaw lifestyle.
Yeah.
And then also he wanted his pee-pee touched by Mia.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just because the cop's don't you want to get your detective back? He didn't say one word
No.
about wanting to be a detective.
The
That
only
was all
thing
just
he was
exposition from his captain or whatever. And I'm like, I see no motivation for you to do your job. It just doesn't. All it does is serve the plot of all it does is add tension to it. Because I'm it doesn't. Doesn't do anything.
All he's even really focused on is like, I need a car.
Yeah, and like you could tell that he like loves racing too.
Yes.
I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
I feel like you shouldn't have become a cop, but whatever. If that wasn't the case, then we wouldn't have a movie.
Well, not to spoil the second one, but he doesn't really get reprimanded too much for the end of this one.
No, he
so.
doesn't.
What?
He doesn't.
Well, actually, I can see them not doing that. Just
He gets
because-
transferred. He gets transferred.
No,
to
he
the,
doesn't. He goes on the run.
Wait, is he still a cop in the second movie?
Technically.
Yeah. When does he stop being a bullshit cop?
The end of the two.
Good.
Yeah.
Because that's fine. Because I'm like,
And then three it has nothing
Somehow
to do
he's
with,
on the run.
No, three
No,
has
he's a-
nothing to do with anybody because it's Tokyo Drift,
Yeah.
and it's technically a prequel.
Yeah.
Or no, it's technically later than everything else because then 4, 5, and 6 are like before Tokyo Drift.
what?
The timeline's really weird.
Yeah.
That's so
And like
weird.
the way they named everything, because I mean
Too
it goes.
Fast, Too Furious.
No, it goes The Fast and the Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious, The Fast and the Furious 3, Tokyo Drift, Fast 4, Fast 5, Fast and Furious 6, and then it goes Fast and
No,
Furious.
4 is just Fast and Furious.
Oh, I got it wrong.
So it's Fast and Furious, and then Fast 5, Furious 6.
And then, what was 7?
Or maybe it's Furious 7.
I thought
Anyways.
I thought it was
Yeah,
Furious.
and then
I-
Fate of the Furious.
Is 8.
Get it?
Yeah.
Eight.
And then
Fate.
What would they call the ninth one now?
Fast 9?
Oh.
I don't know.
I don't know. And don't forget, you got to throw Hobbs and Shaw somewhere in there.
That's Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Hot.
I knew the Fast and Furious name got slapped on there. So yeah, I don't know. Other than that, the movie was fun. But I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just like, this is total bullshit. Like, you obviously don't want to be a cop, man. Just keep on
Yeah.
driving. Just work for Dom. I feel like your life would be better in the long run. I don't know.
Yeah, this movie was through my nostalgia glasses. Hey, that's funny. I just thought about that, and that's being Spectacle Squad. We have nostalgia glasses. So I don't remember the pacing being so weird, and it's like there's
really
like
was
a
weird.
whole lot of introduction and setup, and then when it finally gets to the meat of it, and Brian is a part of the crew, then it like speeds up, and it's just like.
Bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, you have 36 hours, Brian.
And then he's like super in, and then it's all of a sudden it's like an hour and a half in. Then it's Race Wars, and you're like, oh, this is the thing that has been talked about for the entire movie.
Yeah.
And then that's not the end, and then it continues, and I was just like, Jesus.
And Race Wars is like nothing too. Like it served no importance other than to get Jesse in trouble.
Yeah,
So-
I mean,
Letty won $2,000.
I'm assuming that they were planning on doing that heist the whole time. Like
Yeah.
Race Wars was like they're gonna go hit another big heist,
Yeah.
but I don't know. It's weird.
I don't know why.
What's
Yeah.
funny to me is like in the beginning of the movie they show off like the Toretto grocery store, and then Dom has a fucking mechanics shop. They never mention those in any of the other movies.
Wait, it doesn't
Ever.
come back like at all?
No.
Well, okay, here's the thing. So, like, the only thing about the storyline through all of the movies that matters is that the team is a family, and that's all that matters. That's
we
literally
ride together, we die together.
that's Bad Boys, but it's that's all the story needs. I mean, you want to talk about the trailer for 9 shows that Dom has a brother. And that's the first time they ever mentioned Dom's brother.
It's John Cena.
He
looks nothing like him.
No, he doesn't at all. I mean, they both have muscles, but that's probably about
my
it.
God, I can't wait.
But yeah, you think that Dom.
I can't wait.
And John Cena's this like super secret and agile spy.
Well, yeah, you can't see him. But you would think that either Dom or Mia would have said something in this movie, like, yeah, our other brother, he's a piece of shit, or, you know,
Yeah,
something.
our
Yeah.
other brother, he's a fucking Navy SEAL or some shit like that.
A Marine.
Which, like, here's the thing. We're complaining about the plot in a movie franchise, which the plot is not important. People do not
That's
watch
true.
these movies for the plot. And that's okay. I think that in today's, like, especially, like, movie culture, like, people who are really into movies, they don't like popcorn movies because they're like, oh, this is too simple. What's the point of this? But I'm like, sometimes you just want to sit back and watch some kick-ass car scenes, some crazy
Exactly.
stunts, like... and that's fine.
What's nice is I think 2 and 3 do a better job of having the races and like the culture, like the racing culture around it.
Yeah.
This one feels really weird. Like going back and watching it, and it was like you think that these street racers are gonna have a bunch of pretty girls and revealing clothes and dancing to music and stuff, and it does, but it looks weird. Like it looks like somebody was like, hey, obviously there's no music playing right now, but just dance sexy.
Yeah.
And then they're like this, and it's like, yep, that's right.
So the other thing too is like the music for this movie was so weird. Like there's
they go from like techno to fucking hardcore to fucking.
It's got new metal halfway through it. It's like, why am I listening to new metal?
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't know. It's all over the place, man. But that just reminds me of there's a racing game I had for the PS2. No, the Xbox One. Or not Xbox One. I'm sorry, Xbox. And it was Need for Speed Underground 2.
Oh, yes.
And that's all this movie reminded me of. Was that?
Well, that's probably because it was inspired by.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I recognize where.
Yeah.
Like all of that kind of stuff gets that because like this is the start of that, but it's just I don't know. Something about it's really cheesy to me, but that's just because I hadn't seen it before, so I had no reference.
Even the cars looked really cheesy to me. Like when I was younger, I was like, these cars look so badass, and like the decals and stuff that they had them and the paint jobs, I was like, I'm pretty sure these are all Hot Wheels. Like these, they're even the same.
Yeah.
These are like the same sticker decals that are on.
Yeah, the decals were stupid to me. I think they look. I say, at the time they were probably really cool, but they are very dated now.
I did think it was cool that they all had like their own that went on their car. Like they all had ones that like the art matched.
Yeah.
But it like fit into their style a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, like it's fine for what it was, and I'm like I think at the time that was probably really, really, really cool for the culture, but I'm like, now it's like you would not see cars like that, like, decaled up nowadays.
No, I have a feeling like with today's culture, it's going to be a lot more matte with a lot, like, there's neon in this, but, like, way more neon in weirder places, not just underneath, but, like...
Well, that, and, like, I don't ever see those underground neon... You know how I see those neon bars now? Is I see them on trucks.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only place
like, around here, especially, like, at our work and stuff, like, Jeeps and trucks. Jeeps and trucks.
They have them all the fucking time.
Yeah. Those stupid...
Do they still have the big plastic testicles that hang from the back of the truck?
I've seen a couple.
Nuts?
Yeah. But that's, like, older, like, people that still have those, not the younger dudes. Younger dudes have the bar lights on top, and so they put the neon lights under like the
step.
Yeah, under the step or like under like the wheel base,
which is functional for the step, but like if you're putting it under your wheelbase, it just looks stupid.
Yeah.
Yes, look at you. You're driving a 2006 Toyota Tundra.
Hey,
you look so fucking cool.
That's what this franchise needs. It needs a remodel. It needs to be these kind of guys.
They just need to go mudding the whole time.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, we can do a rewrite, bro. We could reboot the franchise, dude.
And then the big reveal at the end, it's like, Terry, you're not a redneck. But we were wrestling pigs together.
You drive a Tesla?
I cook barbecue with you.
A hybrid car? The fuck?
What is this, a Prius?
You said you want to make America great again. What? Jesus.
You keep the safety on your gun? What?
Where is your gun rack, boy?
Also, we can talk like this. We're from the South. Ish.
I don't ever want to say I'm from the South.
Well, we're from Midwest South. We'll say that.
We're Midwest South. You know.
Southern Midwest.
Everybody knows where the Southern Midwest is.
Yeah.
Oklahoma.
You just doxed us, Jordan.
What? How? Yeah, they're gonna find us in this whole state.
Anyways,
they're gonna come straight to you to this address.
You're the one that put our faces on the internet.
Yeah, that's true.
Now they can just find us through Facebook. All you gotta do is reverse image search.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
then they'll know everything.
Anyways, going back to the music that you were talking about earlier, what's really funny about this funny about this movie is that it was so low budget, and like
Was it?
It really was. It was a really low budget movie that did really well in the box office.
What was the budget?
I don't remember, but like.
Well, how am I supposed to believe you if I don't know the facts?
It was fairly low budget. I'll say that.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that further.
But I mean, like, it did really well in the box office, but critics hated it. Basically, they said what we were saying. It's a popcorn movie, and it's pizza for your eyes. It's fun to watch, but there's no
Joke's on
meat
you, have
to
a
it.
pizza on my eyes anyway.
Yeah, is that a calzone there?
What?
I'm just kidding.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know, but yeah, it's kind of like interesting to me that like against what critics said, it still did super duper well in the box office.
So it's saying 38 million.
38 million.
Yeah.
Really?
For the first budget, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, dude, like they had to pay for those cars, and they kept wrecking them.
Yeah, 38. But okay, so here's the jump up though. So that's 38 million for the first one, and then the box office it made 207.3 million. And so there's that. But the second movie had 76 million, and then it just keeps jumping up from there. So
Yeah.
what's the line?
Because the CGI budget keeps getting higher.
Yeah. So
Speaking of decals, like we were earlier, pretty much the only place that you see personalized decals and different illustrations on cars and stuff is like professional events, like professional drift events or like rallycross or anything like that,
Yep.
which is where advertisers advertise their brands on cars.
the other thing too is like this movie I thought was interesting because I see them on cars nowadays where they put like the brands of like the shops like on their decals and stuff like that, and this like even like the freaking like the gangster cars had their like shop brands on them too. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
So like, that's a cool thing.
I mean, it was just basically a giant advertising campaign for NOS, Sparco, all kinds of different brands of cars and all this shit, which I mean, like, it's the same for every other movie. But
Which the NOS thing's interesting because eventually that evolved into being an energy drink.
yeah.
It looked exactly like the can, like name. And
Yeah, the bottle, it's like a plastic blue.
with that orange.
Yeah, and then with the orange.
I don't think
spinny
I don't
lid.
think NOS is around though anymore.
It's in cans, but that's it.
Is it in cans? I was gonna
Mhm.
say, 'cause I haven't seen a NOS.
I used to drink it a lot when I worked at Target.
Yeah.
I liked that it was fruity. It tastes like orange juice.
I feel like that's probably a bad thing.
What?
If you're hearing noises, that's my fault because I forgot to close the window to a recording space.
Freaking-
So, I'm a dumbass.
I don't think they'll be able to hear that from here.
I
So
don't
it's gonna
know.
be
You
even
never
weirder
know.
that you just said that.
Anyways, there were
'Cause
people
then they're
walking
gonna-
outside and they
they're
were
gonna-
talking.
They're gonna go back around and like, what noise is he talking about? Is there a noise?
But yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was really interesting. I fucking love this movie. It's so stupid, and it just gets worse and worse and worse as far as like how kind of cringy it gets at times.
Yeah, I do. I like it a lot. I don't think that. I think it'll be like another 10 years before I watch it again. Like, it's not something that I'm like ready to watch again soon.
Yeah.
I like the newer ones a lot more just because I think that if you are able to just accept the crazy banana pants
Mhm.
like way that it's gone now, it's just a way better and fun movie.
Yeah.
And this movie has a lot of parts that just it's not fun, it's not entertaining, it's just, you know,
Pure eye candy.
It's
what? No, I was gonna say it's just pure like filler or you know, exposition. Like that character's there just to like say something. And,
yeah.
Because how long was the runtime? Like 2 hours?
Let me look real quick.
Or does it just feel like it was?
It felt like a long time, but runtime was
Quality.
So yeah, okay. See, as far as runtime goes,
it was an hour and 47 minutes. Oh, that's
What the
interesting.
Fuck.
I felt like
That's
a lot.
really
That's like-
coincidental.
Dude, I would have thought. Oh, you know what? We looked it up last week
Oh yeah.
because it was the same as Terminator.
Yeah.
And we were all like, "Hey, it's the same as Terminator."
Maybe that's a running theme now. We just find movies that are only an hour and 47 minutes and
Maybe we
stick
should
to
have been
that.
called
But it's
the hour
crazy
and
because it
47.
doesn't feel like an hour and 47. It feels like if you would have said it was 2.5 hours long, I would have agreed with you.
Yeah, that's true.
Because like that, there were so many parts in that where I was just
it
like,
just kind of slogs. Yeah.
go forward, and it was just like not going forward.
But the problem was because it slogs so much in like really weird areas, like it rushed the hell out of that ending.
Yeah, it's like Rise of Skywalker, where like the first 20 minutes, it's like gotta go through it real fast.
Yeah.
Fuck Rise of Skywalker. Speaking of, you guys see all this shit that they're posting on the internet now?
Yeah, about
all
that.
these new things.
It's all coming from that book, bro.
I have the book, and I didn't see all that.
Really?
Yeah. So Palpatine in the movie is a clone,
Yeah.
and Rey's dad was a clone.
He was a failed clone of Palpatine, supposedly.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
So it's just a bunch of bullshit, man.
So like this is not anything new. They've done that with all of their books. Like they had a lot of extra stuff in the Last Jedi.
Yeah, but it knows that it's a terrible movie, so it's trying to band-aid that movie so fucking bad, and it's just making it more of a Frankenstein piece of shit.
I don't know. Like I've never liked that they try to put extra. This is why I don't like their novelizations, because I'm like, you're putting stuff that is not what you saw. Like that's stupid. Because like the book is technically canon, but the movie's technically canon. So it's like for people who really really care about that stuff, you're just.
Well, it's because like the script, like they're basing like.
Yeah, I know, because they got to publish that shit before the movies come. Like they got to get the
Yeah.
books printed. I understand that, but I'm just, it doesn't. Like it's not.
It's the fucking J.J. Abrams didn't have enough time to flesh out a good story, so he wrote garbage down and then tried to save it in editing and couldn't. And
He said, Rey's dad is, failed Palpatine clone. Yeah, we're gonna run with that. Palpatine's still alive.
You know, at least
he's a fucking clone.
At
Yeah.
least it means Palpatine didn't have sex. That's kind of good.
How do you know that?
Because he's a clone.
yeah, he could have fucked the clone. You don't know.
I don't think so. I don't think
Palpatine
so.
fucked a clone?
Yeah, why not?
No, I think this just means that Palps didn't have sex, which makes me happy. Because that image won't be burned in my brain as much anymore.
I don't know. I mean, depending on how he did it, because he did have. Like,
Why are we talking about Palpatine having sex?
Yeah.
Because that's what the movie implies. That was the first thing I thought of when they said Rey was a Palpatine. That means old ball-faced Palpy Palps had to have sex for her.
What
to be
about
there.
young Palpatine when he was a senator?
It doesn't add up. The time doesn't add up at all.
No, like if he's a clone, he's gonna go through the same stages as Sith Palpatine.
No, but we're talking about before he was a clone. I'm talking about before the movie said that he was a clone. That means that Palpatine had to have sex to have his son, so the son could have Rey.
Oh, okay.
That's
You're
what I'm
talking about
saying.
before they explained he was a clone.
Yes.
Okay, I was confused.
That's why
My
I'm
bad.
like, okay, I can buy that more.
Who wouldn't want to have sex with Palpatine? Sex with
I feel like
Palpatine would be
anyone.
electric.
I hate this. Anyways,
So,
back to
hold on.
he's
One
got
other
the
side note. So,
Tingling touch.
so in Revenge
my
of the Sith,
God.
we see Palpatine just get his face hit with lightning. Does that mean the rest of his body is all scarred? What if it's just his face? What if you rip off those robes and he's got like a heckin' bod, bro? Like, what if he's just like a straight up hunk under those robes?
Yeah.
That's what the new movie should have talked about.
Something tells me that his dick still looks like a pita bread rolled up.
They're gonna be able to release a podcast.
Oh my gosh! These are the important questions that
They
we're
are
talking
important.
about. Like this is important
Yes,
knowledge.
this is
man.
important.
Like,
Okay.
when do they have time to poop? They never poop in those movies.
Or do clone troopers poop?
That's a good question.
Maybe they're because we've seen them eat because of Clone Wars, but we've never
Yeah.
seen them poop.
Maybe they'll get to that in Clone Wars.
That's what the final season's all about.
They
Yep.
said, we're gonna explain how clone troopers shit.
I want to see it.
And the anatomy and
Jesus.
Palpatine's anatomy.
Anyways.
I'm just saying, anybody with the name Sheev is not circumcised. So what were we talking about? Fast and Furious?
Yeah, Fast and Furious.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited now to keep watching these movies to see where this beautiful train wreck goes. Because I know what the end result is, and I cannot wait to get there.
That's ironic because like where it kind of when the film that shifts into going from outlaws to spies involves a train heist.
Are you kidding me?
No.
That's amazing.
Yep.
That's so great.
Yep.
Which one's the one where like they like drop the cars from an airplane?
7 or 6?
That's 6.
6 or 7.
Because 7's the one where they drive the freaking Lambo out a window of a skyscraper into another skyscraper. Keep in mind, I'm only referencing trailers that I've seen, so
True.
I don't know. But that's all I remember.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah. I'm excited going forward.
What I love about this series is that it kind of like, it really kind of launched several actors' careers, like from, I mean, obviously the series as the beginning is somewhat notable, but I mean, like, it just kind of made their careers go even farther than
Like
they were
who?
progressing. Dwayne Johnson.
What?
Wasn't it?
Ja Rule.
What?
I'm just kidding.
Are you talking about the series or this film? In
This
particular?
series.
Oh.
This series.
Okay, I
The
was
series
supposed
in
to say, 'cause,
total.
like,
I'm not talking
I was
about
gonna say,
specifically.
Dwayne
Dwayne
Johnson
Johnson is not in the first
I
Fast and
don't.
Furious
I don't
movie.
think it launched his career.
As
but
an actor, I think it progressed it more.
I don't-
Well, it definitely.
It didn't. Like, it definitely helped, but I don't think it was, like...
It wasn't a stepping stone, no. But I would say
not
it
for
progressed
him,
it
at least,
more.
but for other people, yeah, I'll give you that.
And then, what's his face? He's a rapper.
Ja
It's
Rule?
not Ja Rule.
Ludacris.
Ludacris. Yes.
Ludacris?
He's in the second one, and from then on,
Heck yeah.
he's reoccurring.
He
Heck
is.
yeah.
Gal Gadot was in it.
Yep.
Wonder Woman.
Before she was Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
And then, what's her name? Emmanuel. She played what's her face in Game of Thrones.
She was in that?
She's the one. She played Khaleesi's handmaiden that would translate. I don't know.
Oh, I know who you're talking. Miss Zendaya.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, she was in that. She was the tech person.
Yeah, she plays Ramsey.
Yeah. Anyways.
You know, people always said that, like, Vin Diesel's acting in this movie was really, like, cheesy and, like, really, like, bad, but I thought he was good in this movie.
I don't think it was terrible.
It's the same as it always is. Which
Yeah,
is
I'm like-
I think this is probably the best it is.
I don't, like...
I like Riddick better. I mean,
I've never
I like
seen
Pitch
Riddick.
Black. You never seen Pitch Black?
No.
Jesus Christ.
You know the first Vin Diesel movie I saw?
Let me guess, you haven't seen Pitch Black either.
Yeah, the
No,
first
actually,
Vin
yeah, but
Diesel
that's not the
movie
first one.
we saw.
You saw Pacifier.
The Pacifier.
Hell yeah, dude.
Why?
It was a Disney movie.
I was a kid when that movie came out, bro.
Because remember, they had the fucking
Like,
You
I was-
are 16 going on 17.
Oh, we can't sing that.
Oh, shit. We're
Why
getting
not?
copyright claims.
Yeah.
You could do like 10 seconds of it.
I was trying to make sure we didn't go further. But
Oh, we might just... Oh, we might be right in the margin.
I don't think so. I don't think that would happen.
YouTube,
But-
please don't fuck us.
Look, we're not even getting monetized. So
I
don't
know.
know.
I'm just saying.
But no, like, yeah, that was the first movie I saw Vin Diesel in.
I
And
know.
I
Paul-
loved that movie.
You've
when I
seen
was a
Pitch
kid.
Black?
Pretty sure, yeah. It's either that or I'm thinking of Riddick, but...
Where like the first one is they crash land on a planet and there's aliens
Mm-hmm.
in the nighttime,
Mm-hmm.
and
It's been a long time, but yeah, I've seen
and it ends in the rain,
Yeah.
and the aliens can fly.
Oh.
These are very
Well, the
obvious
reason
plot points.
the
you're
reason that
saying.
I'm saying all that is because then there's Chronicles of Riddick that was completely different, and then the third movie is just called Riddick. So it's really weird.
Okay.
Like
I've seen a Riddick. I don't know. I don't
the
know.
the third one is just called Riddick, and it takes a lot of the same stuff from the first one, where he gets marooned on a planet, and then a bunch of mercs come, and then there's aliens on the planet that only come out at a certain time, and they have to find like a way to survive, and it's kind of weird. But so I was just like, one of them has mud aliens, and one of them has flying aliens.
No, I think I might be thinking of Riddick then, the third one. So.
Pitch Black's the best one.
Yeah.
Because it was like super duper low budget, shot in the desert.
Isn't that how all those
Pretty
movies
fun.
start? Like,
Yeah.
Isn't that why they're always the best?
It's funny though, because like, so originally it was just called Pitch Black, but then as like the story continued, it became the Chronicles of Riddick,
Mhm.
Pitch Black, and then the second one's just called the Chronicles of Riddick, and then the third one's just called Riddick. So it's like each one, they just getting the title shorter and shorter. But there's like an anime that came out after the first one that was like a bridge between the first movie and the second movie, and then there's a video game called Chronicles of Riddick: Escape from Butcher's Bay, and it's a prequel from right before the first movie, and it's fucking badass. It was on the original Xbox. It had some of the best graphics to date on that console, and it was a first-person stealth game where you would you were in prison, and you start off at just a single max part, and you go to talk to this one guy, and he's like, I need a shiv, and so then you have to go and do a little mini side quest thing to get enough money to buy a shiv from the black market guy in the prison, and then you would take the shiv and you'd sneak around and cut people's throats and stuff, or stab them in the head with a screwdriver, and then eventually you escape from the single max, and then you get guns and stuff, and it just keeps escalating until you get sent to triple max. But it was just really fun. It was really cool. It explains how he gets his eye shine. It was dope. Good fucking game. And then later on they came out with a sequel to that one, and they put them together in a package on, I believe it was on Xbox 360 and maybe PS3, I can't remember, but that one was called A Dark Athena was the combination. But it was dope. And Vin Diesel does the voice acting and all of it.
Oh, that's cool, at least.
Because Riddick is one of his favorite characters out of everything. The whole, the urban legend is the reason he made an appearance in the third Fast and the Furious movie, because it has nothing to do with anybody else, but he makes a cameo in it for 5 seconds. And the urban legend was he did that so then Paramount or Universal, whoever owns the rights to Riddick, they were if you're in this movie, we'll give you the rights to Riddick, and that's why he produces Riddick movies now. When Riddick came out, he put up the money to start it and do the project.
That's cool. It's to see people's passion projects like that.
Yeah, he loves that character.
Makes sense. What's that new movie that he made? Bloodshot?
It's based off a comic. I'm kind of excited. It looks like shit.
It looks really weird. But
Some of the CGI just looks garbage.
Dude, I love his shit movies though. He's one of those guys that makes shit movies that are just for me. Last Witch Hunter. Did you guys watch that movie?
Yeah. I was about to bring that up.
God. That movie set me on the path of where I'm at now. Honestly, so I'm gonna go on a little tangent here real quick.
We've already been on several.
I know, but this is all about Vin Diesel, which is Fast and the Furious, so it relates. But
he is the Fast and the
Furious. So, you okay?
Yeah, I'm just laughing a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Just kidding, not really.
So, at one point in my life, I had GameFly, and they were sending me Witcher 3, and I was like, I don't want to have GameFly anymore, and they sent it to me, and I was like, I don't really want to have this anymore, and it's going to take way too long to send it back and everything, because it already sent to me, so I just bought it right out, so then I just was clear away from GameFly. Start playing Witcher 3, fucking love it, it's an amazing game.
Yeah.
And then not too long after that, I see trailers for The Last Witch Hunter, and I'm like, yo, I'm getting some Witcher 3 vibes on this shit, I'm down to clown. So I go and see it opening night, and I'm the only person in the theater. Nobody gives a shit about this movie.
Yeah.
And I fucking eat it up. I'm I fucking love this movie. So I do what I do. When I got home, I do what I always do when I love a movie, is I just start researching the shit out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out that his character is based off of his high school D&D character.
Mm-hmm.
And then that puts me down a rabbit hole, because Vin Diesel got into acting because of Dungeons and Dragons. And I was like, this is fucking insane. That meathead muscle dude is into Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
And then that introduced me to, he did a promotional Dungeons and Dragons game that's a 45-minute video of him playing to promote the movie. And I watched that, and I was like, this is really cool and interesting. I didn't know how to play Dungeons and Dragons or anything, but I was like, this is really neat. Mm-hmm. And then that introduced me to Critical Role, which is
Did he do it with Critical Role?
Yeah, Matt Mercer was the DM, and then Laura Bailey and Travis Willingham were part of the game, and so that opened the door to Dungeons and Dragons for me, which introduced me to podcasting, which introduced me to playing with people that podcasted, and then they asked me to be on a podcast.
Damn.
And then I've been podcasting ever since. So
you've got Vin Diesel to thank for the last.
Yeah, dude.
When did that movie come out?
2016?
Yes, yeah, it's supposed to. It hasn't been too long.
Yeah.
So I remember watching that movie.
Yeah, so it's really weird how, like, just that one movie, and it's not even a great movie. Like, the movie's actually pretty shitty, but I fucking love it. I was super into it. I like the whole lore around it. Also, it's did you ever watch Babylon AD?
No.
He did a movie called Babylon AD that was, like, future movie, and he's, like, in Russia, and there's some, like, little girl that's, like, the key to the world or something, and he's got to get her from point A to point B, and it's just a sci-fi dystopian shoot 'em up that's pretty shitty, but it's pretty dope.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just like Vin Diesel.
That's interesting.
I'll pretty much watch anything Vin Diesel's in.
Yeah.
Vin Diesel is the
He
king
picks
of
really,
Facebook.
and he picks really weird projects to do too. Like he doesn't put the thing about him is like his action movies, but they're not like straight action movies. It's not like who's it? Sebastian Stan or not Sebastian Stan? What's the dude? Jason Statham. Like that dude's like just does action movies, like straight up action movies. Like they're
He's
just
done weird ones.
a couple, but not like
Crank. He did both the Cranks, and those movies are insane.
Yes, that's true.
The Mechanic is terrible. Have you
Yeah.
ever watched Mechanic?
It's god awful.
Mechanic Resurrection. I was like, what is this? What am I watching?
You know, it's terrible. But he like when I think of Jason Statham, he's in the Fast and Furious stuff
Yep.
too,
Yeah.
isn't he? Yeah.
He's introduced in 6.
Yeah.
So there's 6 or 7. I think it's 7.
It's 6. No, yeah, it is 7 because his brother's introduced in 6.
Yes.
Yeah. So I just
You're gonna find out how fucked up these like plot lines are. In
It's
a couple
confusing.
weeks.
I can't wait.
It's great. I love it.
I'm gonna start trying to watch one a week.
You need to, man.
Yeah, they're great shit movies.
Were you looking up something?
Yes, I
Yeah,
was
you
actually
don't
looking
get
up Paul Walker's
Death.
movieography, not his death.
I can't think of any other Paul Walker movie besides these.
8 Below. Movie where he's
dog movie.
Yeah.
Wait, is that really about dogs?
Yeah.
Oh,
Eight
shit.
Below.
Yeah, it's the one where he is in the Antarctic with a bunch of Siberian Huskies, and
Wouldn't it just be
he
the
has to
Arctic?
go back to California or something. I don't know.
How does he get back
Antarctic is the South Pole. Arctic is the North Pole.
I was gonna say
Arctic.
he can't get back to California with Huskies in Antarctica.
Also, there's not a whole lot
Musk.
of Antarctica besides penguins and seals and killer whales.
Yeah.
That's actually the thing. Like, I remember watching that movie, and it's this like horrifying moment where like one of the dogs gets fucking eaten by a killer whale.
Dope.
I was like 6 years old watching this
It's
movie,
like the Penguin
and I'm
and
like,
the
oh my god!
or Penguin and the Pebble. That's what it is. You ever watch Penguin and the Pebble?
No.
Oh, it's this old cartoon where it's like this penguin, like, you know, penguins do that thing where the mating thing where they like get a pebble and they take it to the female, and the female is
Yeah.
like, okay, you can bang me, and then they make a baby.
Yeah.
So it's like that, but it's a cartoon, and then like the penguin, like he falls in love with like the really pretty one, and so he is like, I gotta find her the perfect pebble, and he finds like a goddamn emerald, and somewhere on the beach, and then the whole thing is like she gets like taken off someplace, or like they go someplace, I don't know, and he's got to like find her, and so like the whole time he's like, I gotta find my girlfriend, but then he keeps like dropping the pebble, and he's like, blah, 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 blah. And then there's like seals that are trying to eat him, and like the seals are like the big bad people in that one. It's fucking crazy.
What?
Penguin and the Pebble, guys. That and Rockadoodle. Those are the cartoons from my childhood.
Never heard of either of
Rockadoodle's
those.
like a chicken that's like an Elvis impersonator. All right.
Yeah, you lost me, man.
Um,
What other movies has he been in?
Into the Blue. He was in that with Jessica Alba.
That movie sucks. The surfing movie.
It's
Yeah.
not a surfing movie. It's a diving movie.
Whatever.
Of course, he's in a. He is totally a surfer dude. Man.
Oh yeah, he is for sure.
100%. Like,
Was.
if somebody told me he was in Point Break, I would.
He was not in
Break.
Point
I mean, that's
would
basically what this movie is.
If somebody told me he was in Point
Honestly,
Break, I
the
would
similarities between Point Break and The Fast and the Furious is really similar.
What?
I never
The
noticed that.
similarities are pretty similar.
believe you.
The similarities are pretty close.
Yeah,
That's
well, I
the-
think
there's-
that's exactly. I think it's. At that time, it was like a modern retelling of
Point Break came out in like the 80s, didn't it?
I think it was early 90s.
Yeah, but it's like that's still like a 10-year gap.
Point Break only came out in it's a 10-year gap. It came out in 1991.
Yeah, and then
Exactly.
they did a remake in the 2010s.
It was so fucking bad.
So it's like, yeah, why would they not?
Yeah.
Except nowadays, it's just instead of like, let's adapt it, but like make it different. They're just like, let's just use the same title.
Let's use the same title and just make the guy, instead of like he's just a cop. He used to be a dirt bike racer, which is the plot.
And
of
now
the
he's a
remake of Point
robot.
Break.
No, that's RoboCop. Oh shit! I'm getting my shitty remakes confused.
Yeah. It is kind of fun. I never noticed the similarities between the two. Because, I mean, like, Keanu Reeves is an undercover cop trying to get into this group that's stealing shit. Paul Walker is the same thing.
How has Keanu Reeves not showed up in this franchise?
I don't know. That's kind of surprising.
I don't think he wants to be.
I don't think he wants to
He
be
can do whatever
either.
he wants to. And around this time, he was doing Matrix stuff, so...
And then maybe it's because of John Wick.
You mean lately?
Yeah.
I just don't think it fits his style of stuff.
I'm talking
That's
about
true.
early Keanu, though.
That's true. Yeah.
Early Keanu even more. Like, I don't think he did
Early
anything
Keanu
like
did
this
Bill and
until.
Ted.
Yeah, but I mean, like, this sort
I'm
of.
excited
like,
for that.
I was gonna say shoot 'em up, but it's not really a shoot 'em up.
No.
This sort of like.
Popcorn movie.
Yeah, but he makes those.
Yeah.
It's like I think it's more of like. The tone of the characters, because this one is just so like. Toxically masculine.
Yeah, that's true.
And like. I can't really recall a Keanu Reeves movie that's toxically masculine. Like, even The Matrix isn't, at no point is it toxically masculine. If anything, it is one of the most, like, woke-ass, and not
Yeah.
like, blue-pilling kind of woke-ass, but, like, it's, you know, with the characters and giving everybody, like, the
You can
ability
do whatever
to,
you want. You don't
Yeah,
have to fit this thing. Also,
Yeah.
I've never seen Matrix. Any of them.
God damn it.
Like, I've seen bits and pieces of it, but I've never watched them.
I can't wait for you guys to bring like some movie and it's like that I've never seen, and then I'll be like, but I'm glad because it looks like a trash ass movie. Like, you guys are like obviously trying to pick at me
You ever
by
seen
not
Bullet?
seeing good movies. Bullet
Yeah.
for my Valentine?
No, that's a good band, though.
I know.
Bullitt.
It's not like we're trying.
Has Steve McQueen.
No. No. The only Steve McQueen movie I've seen is
A Great Escape.
yes. Was he also in Cool Hand Luke?
Yes.
And
That's
the
a
one
good
I've
movie,
seen.
too.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like we're trying to piss you off, but you start bringing up all these movies, and I'm not gonna lie to you.
I know.
Like,
I
yes,
know.
and you, but like,
I don't think anybody tries to piss me off. I just get mad at stupid things.
Oh, yeah.
It's my own shit I'm working through, okay?
that's fine. I just have a feeling that's what this podcast is gonna be. It's just us watching movies that we've never seen before, so you can scratch that itch.
No, it's not, I don't want it to just be that. I don't
No,
want
I
to go
know.
through a whole nother thing of just watching movies. I mean, like, this is fine. I've already done a podcast where I analytically dissect movies, and it's fine, but I don't want to do it every time.
I don't either.
It gets.
I mean, like, I love watching movies and doing podcasts over them, but it's so much work.
I like
Gosh.
I like our current style of being able to get off topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
And just shoot the shit.
yeah, because I mean that's more fun.
Yes, because
Honestly.
I feel like we've talked more about Vin Diesel's
Career.
like
And
career.
Palpatine
than
having sex.
Well, that's
the important questions we're answering.
that's kind of so. I mean, I've done this before, but it's like my intentions for this show is to be like a conversation and just like being a part of a fun conversation, and like our topics are more of just an icebreaker to get to the conversation.
Yeah.
And like they're important, but like one of the things I did on my old podcast was we'd get into like budget and
That's
returns
boring.
and everything,
That's
and
boring
like
shit.
get into like I mean it is and it isn't, like learning the special effects and everything, like getting the deep dive into it like is really interesting sometimes, but it's also like people can just fucking do that on their own if they want to.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if somebody's so inclined, all they gotta do is get on IMDb, which is all we ever did anyway, was just get on IMDb and regurgitate what we found on there.
God, that's funny.
So
Hold on, I gotta write that down real quick.
yeah, why not? Like, so it's so much better to have just a conversation where it feels more natural.
Yeah.
And that's
I
why I'm
totally get
like,
you, man.
let's get into this Vin Diesel shit. Like, he's the only person in this movie I care about besides Jordana Brewster.
Yeah.
Who's Jordana Brewster?
He's the only person
Yeah.
like who I've seen it like other like seen him in other movies besides any of the other actors from at least this first one.
Yeah.
Like I can't recall any other movie that any of the actors
What's her
Michelle
face?
Rodriguez?
Michelle Rodriguez
Well,
was
yeah,
in the
her
Resident
too.
Evil movies.
Yeah.
She's not in this movie a lot, so I just don't like
That's true.
register.
She
I
plays a
think-
more vital role. In the
I
I
think
figure.
this. Oh, I was gonna say I think that she was in this a lot more, but I think Resident Evil came out before this, if I remember right.
I think it did.
Which, that actually, like, out of all of those movies, God, talk about a shitty ass fucking series.
Adaption.
Resident Evil movies are total balls, but the first one is kind of good.
Yeah.
And then, like, there's a couple of them sprinkled in there that are, like, when they actually decide to go on their own and create a story, it's not so bad, but...
Yeah.
Trying to follow the games.
Well, they never try to follow the game, which is hilarious at all. But what they'll do is, whatever the game is at that time that's coming out, they'll adopt those creatures into the story at the time, and then it makes no sense, because you're like... When Afterlife came out was when Resident Evil 5 was coming out.
Yeah.
And so they had, like, they were called the Executioners, and they were, like, giant zombies with black hoods on and a huge axe, and then but then, like, that, in the game, they weren't actually zombies, they're a parasite. They're infected with a parasite that makes them have these, like, weird, like, wormy mouth things, and so they tried to incorporate that in the movie, and it looks really bad because the CG looks like shit. And I was just like, what does this have to do with zombies? Like, this isn't even the same thing. Like, it's not T-Virus. It's fucking Las Plagas. All my Resident Evil fans out there understand what I'm talking about. Las Plagas and whatnot.
Yeah.
God.
You guys never played Resident Evils, right?
Nope.
I think one of these episodes is just going to end with the sound of a gunshot.
Whether he's shooting us or himself, we have no clue.
It'll just be one shot.
Oh, jeez. We were actually talking about possibly playing through... Was it Resident Evil 6 that we were talking about?
5.
It was
5.
It was 5. I played 5.
I haven't.
Yeah.
And we were talking about playing through Resident Evil 5, all three of us, like, taking turns or whatever, and then kind of discussing it. I mean, like, I've never played any of the other Resident Evils, and I've never played any Resident
Well,
Evils.
I started with 4.
Okay.
Well, I'm just saying, like, those games, like, they have, like, a storyline throughout, but it doesn't really matter much, and it's hard now to go back to the older ones because the style has changed.
Yeah.
Like, 4 was the first one that was third-person over-the-shoulder shooting.
That was the one that had the Leon!
Yeah. But it's a fucking amazing game. Like, it's the one that'll stand the test of time above all the other ones. Luckily, nowadays, we have the remakes of the old ones coming, which they've already
I'm
done.
actually really
They've
excited
already done
to play
2, and they're
those.
about to do 3, right?
Right. Well, and they did 1, too. Like, the first one was remade a long time ago on GameCube, and it was a remake, but it's the same style, and then they just updated it a little bit further, and it's on consoles now. But these new remakes are complete style departures from what now they are third-person over-the-shoulder shooters. So they're dope, though. They're really good.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that. That'd be kind of cool. I'm always up for more video games, honestly.
Fucking nerd.
Hey.
Fucking dweeb.
Fucking weeb. Anyways.
Any final thoughts on the Fast and Furious?
Rip Paul Walker.
He's not dead yet.
No, he's dead.
No, he's
No, I'm talking about as far as the movies goes. I got 6 more before he dies.
He doesn't die in the movies.
Oh, they don't write him off?
No.
Huh.
Well, they do,
Well, they
but
write
like
him
he
off,
just drives off into the sunset.
Okay.
He's played by his brother.
Yes.
Okay, that's strange. All right.
One final note about Paul Walker. It's really interesting to me that in the movies he's very focused on Nissans, which is a JDM car, but in real life he was a really big fan of Ford, and pretty much his whole garage was Ford cars. So I just thought it was interesting that his movie character cared more about foreign cars, and in his real life he was more about domestic market cars.
Do you think that maybe is because he's American?
Probably.
Yeah.
I just thought it was
And not a
interesting.
weeb.
Yeah, probably.
Not a fucking weeb.
Yeah, you know actors are just acting, right? Like, they're
Yeah,
not
I know.
the
I'm
actual
just making a
characters on the screen.
point.
But no, what about Vin Diesel, bro?
Yeah, what's his cars?
No, I was talking to you.
Oh, me?
Yeah, he's so passionate about his characters, and they're such
I don't-
like.
Dude plays Dungeons and Dragons. He doesn't give a fuck about cars. You know who else plays Dungeons and Dragons? Joe Manganiello.
I know you're about to say that.
Who's that?
He's been in a bunch of.
He's-
like,
Okay, did you watch the first Spider-Man, Sam Raimi Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Flash Thompson?
Oh.
the dude that beats him up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're dead, Parker. That guy?
He plays
And then he
he's like such like a buff like
his wife is Sofia Vergara.
Yeah.
Like one of the hottest women on the planet, and he
And
owns a D&D company now.
And he has his own like have you seen like videos of like his D&D dungeon and stuff like that where he plays with all like a bunch of like he has a bunch of famous friends that they all play.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah,
it's fucking.
I've looked at some of his merch. I think it's really cool stuff.
Don't you mean gargoyles and ghoulies?
I'm really hoping that
it's a Riverdale reference.
So he was cast as Deathstroke at the end of
Suicide Squad.
Was it Suicide Squad? He's in the post-credit scene.
No, it was Justice League.
It wasn't Justice League.
It was Justice League.
No, because Justice League ends with Lex Luthor being in jail, and
no, that's how Batman vs Superman ends.
Oh,
Justice League is.
Okay, yeah. I'm so confused.
It's really stupid because like
just
Lex
Luthor
piles
of shit on top of
well, yeah, because Lex Luthor was nowhere near anywhere in Justice League, and they just show him at the end of the post credits because they wanted Deathstroke, but he's not in because like Lex Luthor says like, oh, we should have a league of our own, and that's when Deathstroke's just sitting there. And
he's like the movie.
What are we?
The League of Their Own.
Suicide Squad.
He looked badass as Deathstroke though.
Dude, yes.
I'm so upset that they're not using him going forward.
But do you watch the CW DC verse?
Mm-hmm.
The Deathstroke in that was really cool. I like that actor because he was from Spartacus.
Yeah, he was. Really
Did you ever watch that show, Spartacus on Starz?
No, I didn't watch the show. No.
You'll like it. There's a lot of blood and boobs.
Okay. There's more to me than that. I hope you know.
Oh, it shows dongs too. So.
Okay.
I don't know.
No, but yeah, no. The
a lot of dongs.
The season 2 era was probably the best.
Episode 4, it's like all about this dude that they keep calling Horse Dick.
Did they have a horse dick?
Yeah. Because there's like a part where they're like, slaves unfurl, and they like take off their little loincloths, and all the ladies are like, God damn! But it's Roman time, so they're more like, Jupiter's cock. That's the most used line. Okay, the most used lines in the Spartacus shows are saying coin for money, like, do you have the coin? Which always drove me crazy. I hated that.
ADF coin?
But it makes sense. And then Jupiter's cock is like their surprise or like anything that's just like, oh shit, like it's Jupiter's cock.
That's so funny.
And then what's the other thing? I think they just say cock a lot, but they say it kind of like back in high school we used to make fun of Seth Rogen because the way he'd say it, like cock.
Yeah.
He says cock real funny.
Yeah.
And so like the way they say it was, I don't know.
That's for that.
Because we're all like cack.
That's the Southern Midwest for you.
We just don't say that word.
What do you say?
I was like dick.
Oh.
Dick.
Yeah.
I think cock's funny.
I mean, yeah, in like a funny context, it's more like visceral, I think, but like, you know, I just say my dick.
Visceral cock. New gamer tag.
Oh my god. Anyways.
That's so funny.
This podcast has been slightly a mess with.
Well, to mess it up even more before we get out of here, to bring it back to my my one true topic that I love to talk about, Star Wars.
Oh Jesus.
Yes.
So,
Sheev.
No, I want to talk about Clone Wars because the first couple episodes.
Oh yeah.
Bad Batch.
I'm actually excited to talk about that.
I just want to just do a little quick recap. I'm assuming that both of you watched both episodes by now.
Yes.
So give me your thoughts on what do you think?
I fucking love it.
Do you like the Bad Batch? Like,
I do.
This is a nice start to this final season.
It's already dark as fuck.
Yeah.
Like I was just like.
It's not even like they're immediately killing anyone or anything like that, but just the tone of the show is so much more adult, and I love it.
Yeah.
Man. I think I talked to you about this a little bit. So like the Bad Batch is like the defective clones and stuff like that, or not even defective, I guess. Yeah.
No, they're genetically modified clones.
Yeah, mutated.
But the show made it seem like they
GMO
weren't purposely.
They said they were.
Shut up. No, I don't think that the show said that they were like it was just they were accidents, but they worked to their advantage. But what's the fucking big dude like Crusher or whatever?
Yeah.
So I think
I'm gonna blow stuff up.
So what I think is because you know how like clones like age a lot faster and stuff like that. I think that he only mentally like ages as much like a normal kid. I think that's part of his like different mutation because he's just so stupid.
Yeah.
And that's what my theory is on that dude. Because like he just says the stupidest shit, and he's like, "Oh, me no crush now."
Isn't that like what is that? Flowers for Algernon? Isn't that what that is?
Yeah.
Or
something like that. Yeah.
or Mice and Men. Which one's the one that's like the big?
Mice and Men.
Yeah. I get confused. There's rats in all of them.
Yeah. But that's what I think with that clone, because he was annoying the shit at me, but I'm like, oh, that's probably what that is.
I like Tech.
I did too.
I like the hunter dude or whatever.
Oh yeah,
Crosshair?
the one who's
No,
basically what's his face
Rambo?
from Borderlands 2.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the dude's basically Rambo.
Yeah, the dude that his superpower is he can feel electromagnetic currents.
And he wears a fucking bandana.
Yeah.
I really do like these episodes a lot. Like, I'm so excited that I'm glad that they started with these, because it's like
It kind of fulfills that Brothers in Arms thing that we were talking about.
Yeah.
We're fucking gonna find
What
what
what's the
happened.
Brothers in Arms I was saying?
Yes.
Also, I was wrong on an earlier podcast. I said that they were going to rescue Fives. It's Echo, not Fives. I get those two mixed up because Echo got.
They all look alike.
Fair enough. No, Echo.
Out of context,
Echo
that sounds
got
so bad.
Echo-
Talking about clones.
I know.
We know, like, there is context.
I know. I'm just saying.
Tyler's dedicated to getting things out of context. Tyler wants so bad
So
for me to say something out of
For anybody who wants
context.
to know, Tyler's the one who edits these, and he's constantly worried that we're going to say something super offensive.
And it's like, all you gotta do is just keep the context in there and we're fine.
I don't know.
Yeah, you're the only one taking it out of context.
That's where my
But-
point goes. Anyway.
But yeah, so they're going to rescue Echo, which I think that is so cool.
I'm really curious what they're going to do with that because, I mean, they didn't even really talk about it during the show, but I saw that Echo's legs or something like that were bionic.
Yeah, it's really fucking weird.
So I'm
Well,
curious.
he there was an explosion in that episode that, like, he gets the Citadel arc.
I don't remember that.
I'm pretty sure it's part of what, like, got him caught. Like, there was an explosion or something.
And then he's got a bunch of new pieces attached to him.
Yeah, he's got those
No.
prongs and super fucking.
What was
skinny.
that move?
He's got the prongs on his head. Where they
Those
stick
of
the.
you who can't
for-
see,
where
I
they
mean,
stick
all
the
of
fucking-
you.
Yeah, I was going to say, those of you that are listening to this,
Ben just hit his head. Like
They
think-
could have understood.
Think
the prongs.
Donkey Kong hitting his chest, but he's hitting his head instead.
God.
It's like
Okay.
bonk, bonk, bonk,
So
bonk.
okay, whatever. Episode 1 was really good. Episode 2 was fucking great because you
I agree.
get so much stuff jam packed in the episode. First off, you coming out of the gates with that whole Anakin thing with Rex.
Yeah.
So obviously Rex knows about Padme because he's keeping cover for Anakin.
yeah, I was wondering, did I miss something before? But then Obi-Wan knows too. Like,
Yeah,
Obi-Wan
I'm so glad that they're kind of playing that up. It's kind of fun. Like, it doesn't add too well to the movies as much.
I think it does. 'Cause
Really?
I think because Obi-Wan always is known. Like, Obi-Wan could tell. I mean, it wasn't like it was a good secret. Like,
Well, I understand there wasn't good. I'm just saying, like the thing. So the episode 3, the thing that really like drives that home for me is when he goes, "Anakin was the father, wasn't he? I'm so sorry." It seems like that's when he like really becomes certain in the movies. In the show, it's always been different. Like they've always hinted at it more, but this is like more like outright saying it as much as you can without actually saying it.
Well, I mean, like, you could go under the assumption that, like, as a Jedi, he was like, I can't ask Padme who the father is because that's not my place. It's not
Yeah.
my business.
Yeah.
She's the political
I know.
official. And he can't ask Anakin because he doesn't want to put him at risk for getting kicked out of the Jedi
and
Order.
also, like,
Yeah.
if anything, Obi-Wan is, like, super loyal, and he sees him
Yeah.
as a brother. So,
Yeah.
even though it's against Jedi code, he also doesn't want to betray his closest family member.
Mhm.
And then, also, this is Clone Wars. This is, like, not too long after Satine.
Yeah, no, you're right.
So, it's like, you know, he's still got his own, like, he's working through
He's
his
working
shit.
through his shit. Yeah, you're right. You're right. So.
I think that's pretty cool. I like it.
I love it. I love that whole dynamic with Rex now. Like, that's so cool.
The one thing about this episode that bothered me was, like, halfway through the episode, I was like, there's something fucking weird about Anakin right now, and I can't put my finger on it.
Uh-huh.
And I finally figured it out.
Huh.
One arm has a glove on, and the sleeve is held tight, and the other one has just his bare hand, and it's a loose-ass, like...
You know why, though, right?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay.
But it was like the loose sleeve, and it was like I looked at old pictures, and like all of his other ones, he didn't have a loose ass wizard sleeve. He
But wasn't
had-
that because aren't they trying to get more accurate to episode 3? Isn't that the whole thing?
It's getting closer and
Because
closer.
that's what that stupid haircut is for too.
Yeah, but it just really bothered me that he's got one really tight arm and then one wizard sleeve, and it would like whopping around, and
Yeah.
I was like,
And now
why does this look super weird?
I never noticed that, but I can see
It
why
bugged
That's a
me
good point.
because it was
Yeah.
just like If they would have just kept that tight, and I would have been fine.
That's funny though. It's like, so I know they're trying to get more episode 3 accurate, but his hair right now looks so stupid.
It basically looks like a mullet.
Well, because the thing is though, is like Anakin's hair in 3, it's long, but it's like really like thin and greasy.
Yeah.
A little bit more, but they can't do that in the show, so they just have to have that like clay type thing. It just looks like a jumble. It bugs the shit out of me. But I'm like, okay.
I didn't notice his hair as much as that wizard.
Because I thought you were gonna mention the hair. The hair annoys me.
No.
But
it's the sleeve, because I was just like, and it took me a minute too. Then I was like, why are the arms different? And I was like, oh yeah, he's got a robot arm. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. But then like, why would he need to have the robot arm stuff tied down? And be like, well, just in case it gets caught or whatever. And it's like, but then it's not like whenever he's like doing that mission, he's not wearing a Jedi robe. He's wearing just a regular tunic. So it's like, why does he have? Even their regular robes have like, I mean, they got kind of long sleeves, but they're not like super. They're not the robe length where it's like, you know, you could hide a whole rotisserie chicken in there. And I was just like, why does he have that?
See, Jedi robes to me and the tunics have always seemed inefficient.
Yeah.
That's just me though.
Just wear some fucking pants.
Just pants?
And a t-shirt.
No, the pants.
And a t-shirt? Pants and a t-shirt?
Yeah.
What kind of pants now? Now
jeans?
It's jeans. Jeans and a t-shirt.
You picked like that.
Shoes. What kind of shoes?
Vans.
Okay, you almost described me until we got to the shoes. If you would have said New Balance, then...
Jordan, we're wearing basically the same thing except for shoes.
Yeah, well, I got a fucking tit pocket, so...
Yeah, okay.
Oh my god, that was good.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I really like that.
They brought, oh no, you go first.
You described yourself like you're a fucking Jedi? You fucking...
No.
You prick.
You pop his ass.
I really like
You're a wizard sleeve.
Was it the first or second episode? I can't remember for the life of me.
There's only 2.
I know. That they did the Anakin thing. Was it the first or second?
That's the second one. That's why I said the second one.
I love
so
that
good.
in both the first and second episode that Anakin kind of... I love that Anakin kind of takes a backseat as a major role. I mean, like, obviously the Padme thing is a big thing, but after that, it's mainly what Rex thinks and what the Bad Batch thinks and what they're doing.
Yeah.
Anakin just takes a backseat and he's just like, I'm following you guys, this is your mission, but I'm your Jedi and I'm your commander, so I have to be here.
Yeah.
I like that he has that conversation with Padme where she's like, how many times have you gone into battle and Rex has trusted you blindly? And
that
he's
was
like,
so
every time,
good.
And she's like, maybe you should do the same for him once. And
That was
like,
that was
all right.
so good because
Yeah.
it really added to it too. Because it wasn't just because at first I thought it was like, oh, they just want to show this to show it, to have that little fun moment with Obi-Wan. I was like, no, it adds to like the plot of the story too, which was really nice. Also, they brought, was it War Tambot or whatever?
Huh?
The bad the bad guy.
Oh, Wat
The
Tambor.
real- Wat Tambor. I
Yeah.
switched it, but yeah, that dude.
I don't know who that is.
He's one of the
He was that dude with like the really weird looking green head and the robot with like the robot eyes and stuff like that. He's like the big baddie. He's like
the dudes that have to like touch on their...
So the reason I'm bringing him up
knobs.
is, so you remember that Visionaries book that we were talking about a couple
Yeah.
episodes ago? There's a whole thing with him in that book. Do you remember?
No.
He's
Yeah,
also
it's like
mentioned in the Young
It's this
Boba books.
this whole weird ass thing in the comic book where it was like he had to go through the trials of his people, and for whatever reason they had a whole thing in it in that Visionaries comic, and that's why I remember Wat Tambor so much.
That's weird.
It is weird.
I just... The thing that I remember about him is it's the same character from Attack of the Clones that like when he's trying to talk to Count Dooku and then it's like blah, 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 and he's gonna like fidget with his buttons and it's like why would that be a problem? Why did you have to like adjust your knobs to be able to talk? So that's the only thing of his I remembered. I was surprised when they brought back the Tarantula dude.
I was happy that they did because he's always been super cool.
Oh yeah, the Spider.
Because he died in 3.
That was the from the arc when they get the
stealth ship.
Yeah, the what is it called? The blockade buster or whatever.
And then he comes back in the Lost Missions season. And there's one where Fives or whatever shoots that Jedi, and it's the whole about the chip thing.
Oh yeah.
You're talking about the
Trench.
The tarantula
man.
dude with the hat.
Yeah.
Tarantula face. Yeah.
He's
all
in the
about
same
it.
episodes as when he's testing a weapon for Count Dooku and they have the lemur people.
Yeah, that's
When
right.
Anakin gets injured.
Oh shit, you're right.
I think if I remember correctly, originally that was gonna be Grievous. like they were gonna have him be the Grievous role, and then they were like, I don't want to do that or something, or maybe it was like no one's gonna like a giant Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's what they went with.
Grievous.
Which I don't know why.
A Spider-Man.
Which I don't know why. I think that or at least I think he works well for the show. I don't think he would have worked as one of the movies.
Yeah.
I don't think so either.
No,
I mean,
he's
the
Grievous didn't work
CG
in the
level
movies.
and
So,
that time, I don't think it would have done.
well, I
well.
mean, it would have been the exact same to do Grievous, but
I think Grievous is a lot better because there's less
That
moving
works out
parts and
better,
there's less
but-
flesh.
I don't know.
There's a lot of moving parts. It's gotta.
There's not as many like skin parts that they have to make look realistic.
I
They
guess
can
that's
make it
fair.
look like a fucking alien.
I guess that's fair. I think it's more just of being able to sell off tarantula alien.
I think it's also
In the
a
show.
main point
Like
to be
movie.
able to sell off a toy.
That's true too.
It's easier to have a tarantula toy if it's a cartoon.
Yep. But yeah,
All right.
I just want to bring up these episodes real quick, see what y'all thought about it. I really loved them. I think it's a great start to the season.
I agree. I
Do you guys like that they're doing this weekly instead of just dumping it all on us? at
Yes.
once?
I
love
do. I almost wish it was bi-weekly, but at the same time I don't because that makes me have
'Cause
something to look forward
that.
to
Yeah,
on
because
Fridays.
it's like they're doing 12 episodes, so we're not going to finish this till like the end of April.
Yeah.
Which is really fun for me because it's like it's what I'm doing every Friday morning. It's the first thing I do.
Yeah, I was really excited when they did that with Mandalorian, so I could
Yeah.
have something to look forward to.
Mandalorian was funny too, is because that show they released rain or shine no matter what was going on because they released it the week of Christmas, they did it Thanksgiving, and then they also made sure to tie episodes around like the release of Rise of Skywalker and then certain other things. Like I really like the way they did that show, and I really like their distribution method for these shows. I think it works really, really well, and it brings back a lot of me like when I was like in middle school waiting for the episodes to come out. Like it's just a lot of fun to be back in that kind of state. I'm looking forward to something.
Episodes of Clone Wars every Saturday morning.
Yeah.
I actually think it's a lot
Okay.
easier to watch that kind of stuff now. Like
Mm-hmm.
a while ago, I would have said that binge watching is the way to go, but
I think me too.
it's so daunting now. Like there's so many shows that I have in my queue to watch, and it's like, man, like when am I gonna have 8 hours to watch all these?
Yeah.
And so like having these piecemeal episodes, like that's what I kind of like about Hulu too. Is like since the shows come out the day after they air,
Yeah.
I can like I'm really excited the Little Dicky TV show's starting soon.
I'm
Yeah.
actually kind of interesting if that's going to be a lasting thing because they've tried to do comedic things before. Like, do you remember the Jim Gaffigan show? I mean, that was on a channel that wasn't a comedy channel,
Yeah.
but it only lasted 2 seasons. So I'm wondering what they're going to be able to do for.
I mean, even if it doesn't, at least
Dicky.
he tried.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's Little Dicky. Like I don't think it's. He has some of the most entertaining music videos I've ever seen.
That's
so,
true.
Yeah.
Like it'd be funny if he has Brain in one of his episodes.
Bring up.
That'd be funny.
Brain got a poop. This bitch don't know about Pangea.
But yeah, I think you're right because I think when like streaming shows like first became around, it was a lot easier to binge because there was less good content out there. But in this day, like in 2020, like no, there's like
It's content
so
overload.
much quality television that it's intimidating and scary, and it just makes you want to rewatch old shit like the Clone Wars. Like it's just it sucks because I have like 3 different shows I can like name right now that I really want to watch, but I don't have time to, and they're all on different streaming platforms too. So it just it's a nice first world problem to have, but
You know what drives me crazy?
What?
This is gonna be a little bit hypocritical, but I hate it when someone's like, "You gotta watch this,"
yeah,
and I'm like, "I don't,"
I know.
because I don't. They'll be like, "Oh man, there's this new like cop drama you gotta watch." I'm like, I don't care about those. Like, I
Yeah.
don't want to watch that.
They're a dime a dozen. They're
Yeah.
basically all the same.
Oh my god, this show is so good. You should watch it.
Oh no, his partner got shot.
yeah,
Or then whenever they're like, "You like fantasy stuff? You should watch this show," and it's like, never heard of it. And
Yeah.
if I haven't heard of it, then I'm probably not gonna like it. Just because, like, if I've heard of it, then I'll research it, and
Yeah.
if it sounds interesting, I'll get into it. And
yeah.
I don't know.
I think for me, content wise though, like especially I think YouTube's a really good example of that. Like I only see content that I know, like that the algorithm knows I'm gonna like, and I think that's YouTube in like particular. It's like there are YouTubers that I've never heard of that are super huge, but it's like I don't watch that kind of stuff because I don't have to. I think that's the thing with streaming services and shows like that now. Like I watch a lot of stuff that's more kind of like sci-fi themed because they're those kind of like the shows that I'm watching now. Like I'm getting ready to start Altered Carbon at some point. I'm watching a show
the
called
first season.
yeah, I'm not stressing. Just because I saw the trailer for season 2 and that looks really good. But like that show showed up because of some other shows I'm watching. I'm watching The Expanse on Amazon.
Nice.
Yeah, like that show is really good. But I watch stuff like that, And so it's just I'm
Damn,
not.
Dude, you like that gritty sci-fi?
Yeah.
Were you into like
So
the animes like Aeon Flux and Ghost in the Shell?
I like Ghost in the Shell. I haven't seen the other one.
Aeon Flux.
Yeah. So and this all kind of reminds me of shows that I grew up with. So growing up, we watched a lot of Stargate, and then like Stargate Atlantis. Those were big shows for us. Like we were a huge Sci-Fi Channel family, and we watched a lot of their shows growing up and making that. And so I just got used to watching sci-fi shows. So
You ever watch Sci-Fi Channel's Battlestar Galactica?
Mhm.
Okay, good. That show,
Yeah.
fucking dope, dude.
Yeah.
Did you watch Caprica? I haven't seen a lot of people that have watched it.
Mm-mm.
So it's actually a prequel to the show. It's
Oh,
like
really?
it's like the beginning of
Mhm.
creating the
Yeah.
Xylons.
Oh, that's
Cylons.
I will say, so I didn't watch it like during syndication. I watched it a little bit afterwards.
Yeah, I watched
just
it all on
because
Netflix.
like that show was I was too young for it at the time because that show was like a hard R for
Yeah.
stuff at the time. So my
Wow,
brothers
really?
watched it. Yeah, at the time.
Weird.
Compared to a show like, did you ever watch Stargate?
Yeah, I didn't like it. I've seen the movie more
That's
than
fine.
I've seen the show.
That's fine.
Did you ever see the movie?
Yeah, the original Stargate. Yeah, that movie's fucking dope.
I wish it was a little bit shorter, but yeah, it's pretty
That's
decent.
Yeah, you can say that about the show too, but the show's good. I don't
What
know.
about Atlantis? That's Jason Momoa's first thing, right?
No, you know what's funny? He went from Baywatch to Atlantis to being Aquaman.
Yeah.
There's a little joke there, but yeah, no.
He
So
was in Baywatch?
yeah, he was in the OG Baywatch.
I'm confused.
Yeah, not the new one. He's in the old one.
I've never seen
The
the old
90s
one.
Yeah.
He's older than you think he is.
Yeah.
Really? How
Yeah,
old
dude.
is he?
I want to say 40s.
Damn.
He's married to
he
Lisa
was-
Bonet.
Yeah, he was like in his
She
early.
was the eldest daughter on the Cosby Show.
Yeah, he was like in his early 20s when he did Baywatch. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why I transferred.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
So yeah,
dude.
but no, I caught up on Battlestar just because my brother grew up watching it, and he was like, "You really need to watch this show." I'm like, "Okay." So.
Pacific Islanders are those lucky people that don't look like they age, and so it's just like,
It was the same thing with The Rock too.
yeah, like they just
Rock. The only reason Rock, you can't even say he ages. He just gets more muscles, and so you can
in veins.
yeah, you can just track his age through that because like when he was like a wrestler, he just looked different.
Do you guys watch WWE at all?
No.
So funny enough, you should say that. Part of me really wants to start getting into it because I was listening to this podcast of people talking about it, and I used to make fun of it so much back in the day because it's obvious. Because I caught a fight a couple weeks ago at my work, and I'm like, this is obviously staged and like there's no way, like people cannot believe this is like. I remember I watched this guy go to grab somebody to pick him up and throw him over his shoulder. The dude being thrown over his shoulder helped him.
Yeah. No. Okay. So nobody at all. Every single fan of it knows that it's fake.
Except kids.
Well, yeah, except kids. But, like, everybody knows that it's fake. But what's interesting, and I was the same way until I have some friends that are in their 30s, like late 30s, that were like, they would talk about it all the time. And so I started watching the episodes on Hulu because, you know, they come out the day after.
Yeah.
And I got sucked in for a little bit. Like, for like a whole year, I was watching it I was watching both SmackDown and Raw every week.
I've heard that, like, to really get in, like, if you've never seen it, like, you need to go to a live performance. I've heard that the live performances are how
I've been to one of the live shows here
Yeah,
when they came in town, and I think yes, but at the same time you can get into it in the show because like you get drawn into it because it's literally just a soap opera where there's like these weird beefs with stuff that like people that are like have weird things that are going on.
But I've heard that the beefs and stuff like that because it's been around for so long go back years. So it's like hard
Some
to
of
count.
them, but some of them too. Like it's all weirdly written and like. You can tell when the script shifts to something else because like for like weeks they'll be building up this one fight and then like it'll either happen or all of a sudden a third party will come in and then the two people that have been beefing will work together to go against the other guy and that's when they'll start changing to something else. But what's really interesting on like a physical sports like aspect of it is that even though it's fake, it is still like
it's real. The
you're
injuries
still
are
getting
real.
not just the injuries. I'm talking about like the work that is being put into it is like some of the most physical shit. It's more physical than football. It's more physical than
Mad respect to
everything. Like because they have to like it's slightly choreographed, but like we get to a point because they're doing so many shows like you know a week and a month that like it's more like they're kind of like saying like okay I'm about to do this thing and then they like react to it. But then it's like when they're doing like running around, like they're constantly running, they're constantly jumping. Like when you watch like a full 15-minute match, like they don't stop moving for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And so like when they're all like sweaty and drippy and shit, and you're just like, holy fuck, dude, like they just did like an entire workout within 15 minutes, like, and then they're just gonna go like shower and go home now, because I don't know, I think it's a lot of fun. If you want to, we should get in on it and start watching, because there's a character, like when I started watching Bray Wyatt, he was like this weird like bumpkin kind of country like creepy dude, and now his whole persona has transformed. He's got like two personas. Like one of them is he's wearing like a sweater like he's Mr. Rogers, and it's like Bray Wyatt's Happy Family Hour or whatever, and then his other one is the Fiend, and he's wearing this like Michael Myers like creepy demon mask thing, and he wrestles, and it's just like he's got like contacts in, and then there's like this other character who's named Finn Balor, and he's like really cool Irish dude, beats like he's really fast and does a bunch of cool shit. And then like sometimes when he gets really mad, he just transforms into the Demon King, and he looks like fucking either Spawn or Venom or something, and he's got like all this paint on him. And so like there was like a pay-per-view like last year where it was the Fiend versus the Demon King, and I was like, this is cool shit. What the fuck, man? This is like some fantasy ass shit. But it's like two dudes just like picking each other up and slamming them down.
And the other thing too is so because like and I growing up I always thought it just like stupid and fake.
Same.
But then like especially I think as like Dwayne Johnson, John Cena, Batista, and a bunch of these other people really started spilling into the acting circuit, and I started hearing them on a lot of like podcasts I listen to, and all of them just do deep dives in how the WWE works. And I'm like, this is so much more intense and complicated and nuanced than I ever gave it credit for.
And it's like there's so much with the showmanship too. It's like being able to get on the mic and cut a promo where it's like having the conversation, like they have a script whenever they do like their like, you know, like I'm gonna fight you kind of stuff. But like John Cena is one of the best at like he knows what the talking points are and can just go out there and riff it. And there was one thing a couple years back where it was Roman Reigns and John Cena, and Roman Reigns was like stuttering through like trying to remember the script, and John Cena was like, hey man, if you can't remember the script, maybe you shouldn't be trying to cut a promo. And he's like saying that like on the mic, and everyone's like, oh, you fucking suck, Roman Reigns. And like Roman Reigns, he's actually in Hobbs and Shaw. He's because he's The Rock's cousin. Because there's The Rock's family is so like intertwined in WWE. It's crazy.
No, it's.
We should check it out together sometime, because I've been kind of wanting to get back into it, but like
I've always wanted to just dip my toe in and see what it's like, because like I get snippets at work, I've seen a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, there's just something about it. Also like all like dudes are like super nerdy and stuff like that too, like because they like a lot of them grew up playing like things like D&D and stuff like that. Like
it's because it's literally just characters and personas, and there's people you love to hate, and there's people you hate to hate, and there's like so many cool characters. One of my favorite ones was this guy named Bobby Roode, and it was like his whole thing was he was the glorious one, and so like his theme song was glorious, I won't give in, and he's like wearing this like big like coat thing, and he's like got his arms in the air like he's the chosen one. I was just like, this dude is dope. He's just like a normal ass dude, but he's like, I'm the glorious one. I do whatever I want. I'll do the glorious DDT to you. Like,
that's funny.
But
speaking of WWE, I watched Fighting with My Family.
I was gonna bring
over
that
up.
Winter break.
Is it good?
I thought it was actually
I've
pretty
been wanting
good.
to
Like
watch
I'm
it.
not into WWE at all, but like the way they wrote the story and told the story of Paige, who is one of the people in WWE.
So she was she's one of the female wrestlers that has been kind of a pioneer. Like there's been female wrestlers for a long time, but she was really helping like bring change. It used to be like the women's part of WWE was called Divas, and it was like this whole thing where it was like not degrading to women, but it definitely wasn't like lifting.
It was
them
like,
up.
oh, girls fighting.
Yeah, it was. It was more like powder puff kind of shit. And so like she kind of led the movement into like bringing like real criticism to like that way that the female part of it is shown, and she helped pioneer like female tag teams, which just became a thing like a year or so ago. and then she became like SmackDown's first female general manager. Like, it was really cool. Like, and the reason she quit was because she like got injured. Like, it was like a whole thing where she couldn't wrestle anymore because she got injured.
Huh.
But like, it's a really I've been wanting to watch that movie.
It's good.
It's got Nick Frost in it.
Yeah.
And then the what's her name? Florence Pugh from Midsummer and all those movies that everyone's like, they're gawking over her, and now she plays Paige in the movie.
That's she's been popping up everywhere. I think she's gonna be really, really big these next 5 to 10 years. I think she's.
I first saw her in a horror movie a couple of years. No, it was like last year sometime, but I forgot what it was called. But it's like her and her friends going to this weird house where there's like a slasher person.
Yeah, she's been a lot of different. She's been going all over the place because like I think the best thing I've seen her in recently, she did Pretty Woman. And she was phenomenal in that movie. So
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like my kind of movie.
I don't think it would be, but I kind of like that kind of stuff. So.
You like Little Women?
I like period pieces like that. I'm not gonna let you try me into that. But and then she's gonna be in the new Black Widow movie too.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
well, that'd be an interesting, fun thing to do sometime is watch that together because like I got really into it, and like it was one of those things where I felt kind of guilty at first.
Yeah, it's like a guilty pleasure.
Yeah, because it's like it's dumb, but again, it's that whole popcorn thing. It's one of those things that for like an hour and a half, you really don't have to think about anything. Like half the time they're wrestling, and the other half there's not like a whole lot going on. They're like doing their beefs and stuff, and like sometimes there's like really cool shit that happens. Like one of the very first episodes I ever watched was Roman Reigns, and then one of my favorite characters, Braun Strowman, had this beef, and it was like a whole thing where it was a trash can match where like you only win if you throw the person in the trash can and close the lid, and there was like a part where Roman Reigns threw him into an ambulance or something, and then like hit him with a car at some point. Like they did this whole thing, and then there's like it escalated further. Like that was what had happened previously, and then this one it was like they were coming back at it, and Roman Reigns got put into the ambulance, and then Braun Strowman like picked up the ambulance and flipped it.
That's awesome.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and I was just like, is this the coolest thing I've ever seen? I think this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Yeah, you get weirdly attached to all these greasy dudes in their undies. But that's WWE. Who is connected to Fast and the Furious thanks to The Rock Johnson and also I think some producing. I bet they put some money in there.
Also, sorry, isn't Dwayne Johnson in Fighting with My Family? Doesn't he play himself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Technically, he plays The Rock.
That's true. Dude, you gotta watch the WWE movies too. They actually have 2 horror movies.
Really?
Yeah.
See No Evil, and it's Kane. Who what's funny is like the more like legacy characters have like actual special abilities. Like the Undertaker can teleport and shit, and so can Kane. He just like teleports and like does hell stuff. I don't know. It's weird, but he plays like a slasher killer in that movie and both the movies. So that was pretty cool. And then John Cena's in the first Marine movie, which is insane. And then The Miz has been in most of the Marine movies after. There's like 7 Marine movies now. It's a lot. It's a lot.
I think we might have exhausted our Fast and Furious, Palpatine having sex, Clone Wars, and WWE topics.
This is a great Fast and Furious cast, bro.
Yeah, man.
This is the best Cat Furious cast I've ever been a part of.
Furious.
To.
Cat Furious. That's another new gamer tag.
Cat Furious. I dig it.
Well, I mean, is there anything else to talk about it?
No. I will say I'm gonna start slowly watching through the series, finally get caught up because I really want to go see 9. So I'll just probably fill y'all in on those details as they come about.
You should.
But yeah.
Agreed.
I'm gonna try to at least watch one a week. I don't know how far I'm gonna get into that because I procrastinate a lot, but we'll see how it goes.
Just do it while you're doing homework.
That's a good idea. It's a real good idea. I feel like I can. Yeah.
It's easy. Either you'll get so like engulfed in the movie that you don't finish your homework and who gives a fuck, or you just do your homework and have something fun to listen to.
Fair enough. All right.
Well,
sounds like a plan.
Perfect.
I guess we'll.
Another successful episode.
Yeah.
Send us off, Tyler.
I can't wait to see the Photoshop for this one.
Yeah, it's gonna be
That's so
great.
true. They're going to be Vin Diesel.
I don't know.
I guess it's
Probably Jordan.
Yeah, because he's probably gonna be in the middle.
It depends on who's in the who's
It's
in the
it's gonna
middle of
be
the poster.
you're gonna be Vin Diesel.
If,
Maybe
you,
you're Vin
if you
Diesel.
haven't caught on now, how we do our thumbnails is we basically do it how we sit. Jordan sits on the center. Jordan sits in the center. I sit to the right of him, and Ben sits to the left of him.
They know
That's how we
because we
set
do
up
our
every poster.
every intro is us trying to differentiate where we sit, so these people have an inkling of what dummies they're listening to about some random topic.
Yeah.
Or for.
I'm the only one who's like F that up. Remember that was last week's episode. So
That's all right. Shit happens.
That's all good. We'll figure it out.
Well, maybe I'll be the car. You never know. We don't know until we look at the picture.
You are the car now.
It's just like multiple pictures of your face on the headlights.
You just put my eyes and the headlights, and then my mouth
Well,
and
have
the
you
grill.
You become Lightning McQueen.
Have you seen those pictures where it's like a little tree with sunshine on a meadow, but it's like everything in that image is like Snoop Dogg or something?
Yeah,
You
I
should
love
do that with
those.
him in the car.
I don't know how to do that, honestly.
Oh, that'd be funny.
All right. Well, thank you for listening. We'll probably be back pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Catch y'all later.
See you, bitches.
Jesus.